and welcome to this third trimester pregnancy yoga. You can do this at any point in your pregnancy, but for me personally, these are some moves that I've been doing that feel really good at this stage in my pregnancy. So let's get going. Finding yourselves a comfortable seated position. Bringing the hands down to your knees, palms facing up. And as you close the eyes, sitting up tall through the crown of the head and drawing down through the sit bones. Just taking a nice big inhale through the nostrils and long exhale through the mouth. Again, inhale and exhale. And last one, big breath in. And sigh that breath out. Bring hands to our bumps. Just interlacing the hands and allowing the hands to drop down into the lap. And taking a moment to notice any sensations going through the body. Relax into those shoulders. Focus on elongating through the spine. Sometimes when we focus on our breath, when we're really relaxing into the body, babies will give us a few kicks, maybe even a few little yoga moves themselves. Taking this time to bond with your baby. And then taking a moment for yourself. So noticing how you're feeling in your body. You can keep the hands here or stretch them out to the sides. Just taking this time. We spend a lot of our pregnancies thinking inward, thinking how our babies are doing. It's also quite a lot of pressure on ourselves. It's just taking the time now to notice the areas that we're feeling particular tension, particular stress, and see if we can breathe into those areas, maybe even slightly moving in this position, a little bit of movements in the hips, if we need to roll those shoulders out, whatever feels good for us. Just taking this time now for you, for your body, and setting an intention for the rest of this practice. What do we want from this practice this morning? And on the next inhale, we're going to stretch the arms all the way up and interlacing the hands, pushing the knuckles up towards the sky. Take a big breath in and out. I like to do my Ujjayi breath, which is breathing in through the nostrils and out through the nostrils. If that's not comfortable for you, especially if you're feeling quite tight through the chest at the moment, baby's pushing up, then just breathing as you normally would. So we're going to bring the right hand down, left arm stretches over, making plenty of space in the chest here. You may even want to pop a block or a book underneath that right hand just to create even more space for our bumps. And then looking up towards that left hand. Beautiful. And then stretch the left hand away. So we're getting that big stretch now, arms completely facing in the opposite directions. And then let's swap it over to the opposite side. Left hand comes down, right arm comes over. And again, maybe turning that head, breathing in, making lots of space through the intercostal muscles. See if we can stretch the arm away, and then coming all the way down. Beautiful. We're going to take a little stretch into the shoulders, which hopefully will feel a lovely release after always lying on one side or the other. Not sure about you, but I cannot wait to be able to lie on my belly again or lie on my back. So we're going to stretch these arms out and give ourselves a big hug and take it into your eagle arms. So back of the palms, if we can find the front of the palms, then do it. And we're going to lift up those elbows, breathing in, exhale, soften. 2 more times, inhale, exhale, soften, and one more. Wonderful. As we draw down, just take a note of which elbow is on top of the other, and we're going to swap them over. So swap those arms over and repeat on the other side. First giving ourselves a hug, back of the palms, or maybe into our full eagle. Inhale, lift elbows up, and exhale. Again, inhale, exhale, and last one. Wonderful. And release. Stretch those shoulders out into our cactus arms. I'm just going to take a couple of twists. We don't want to twist too much through the torso, thinking about creating space for our baby as we do this. So really opening out wide through those shoulders. Just a little gentle turn and over to the other side. Beautiful. Bringing it back, and let's flip over to our hands and knees, making sure that those knees are underneath the hips and that those hands are underneath the shoulders. This is a really good posture as well if we know that our baby is back to back. So almost imagining that our bump here is like a hammock. So baby is going to turn and lie just like we would lie in a hammock. Moving into a few rounds of our cat-cow, dropping the belly, lift the chin on the inhale, exhale, rounding the spine, and imagining that we're pulling baby in towards the spine. Using your breath, and we can exaggerate as much as we'd like through this movement. So if you've got a little bit more movement at this point in your body, then maybe bending into the elbows a little bit, take a scoop. If that feels too much today, then just keep those elbows extended, lifting up, and just subtle movements. So it's completely up to you, taking your time with your breath, seeing if you can slow that breath down. And this is going to be a really good posture as well for strengthening through those arms. It's a really good positioning to be in for labour. So we may want to strengthen into these wrists, strengthen into the arms. Let's take just a couple more. Beautiful. Coming back to our neutral spine, and then we're going to rock forward and push back. So rocking it forward and back. Now we might want to edge those hands slightly further forward so we get even more movement. So we're heading sort of towards a cobra, but not fully coming down with those hips. As we push back, trying to get those hips a little bit lower towards the heels. Now if, like me, you're at a later point in your pregnancy, then you're really going to feel perhaps baby's head. So as we move forward, move back. It's a really good one for starting to induce labour, but nice and gently. We're just getting our bodies ready. So doing this for a couple more. Beautiful. Let's move back to centre. So our last one here, we're going to take our figure 8. So I always imagine that we've got a little pen coming from the nose, and we're going to draw a number 8. Headbutting the plant whilst I do it. And moving with those hips. So our hips as well take a little bit of a hit from us lying mainly on one side. So see if we can get this movement as much as we can. This is a really good movement to do just before bed or when we wake up. And let's move it in the opposite direction. And any of these moves, if they feel particularly good, we can keep them going for a little bit longer. If you need a break at any point, then we can pause. Remember, listen to your body, listen to your baby. We're going to take it into our downward dog, which is really good for us if we find that our baby is breech. So doing downward dog hopefully can turn baby. So we're going to tuck the toes and start to lift up, keep a bend in the knees. Now, depending on whether we practice yoga a lot, depending on how tight those legs are, we may want to stay here with those bent knees. If it feels okay, then extend through the legs, but we want to get that nice straight spine. So making sure that we're not rounding here through the spine, that we're pushing that upper body back towards the top of the thighs. Now also, baby bump here, maybe feel it's getting slightly in the way. So if that's the case, just bring those legs nice and wide off the mat, and that may feel a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more space. So we press into the hands, looking towards the back of the mat, breathing in, breathing out. Wonderful. And then we're going to take just a few little paces back with those hands. Move a little bit further in with those legs, bend into the knees, and let's find our way all the way up. So taking ourselves to the front of the mat, we're going to bring those feet either hip width apart or slightly wider. Scooping arms all the way up. Inhale. And exhale, stretch those arms back and away. Do that a couple more times. Inhale. And exhale. And get lots of space within the torso. Inhale. And exhale. Wonderful. Finding mountain pose. So hands to the side, standing up nice and tall. Breathing in, breathing out. Maybe holding on to baby, checking in, seeing if we can feel any sensations, any moves. Maybe she's feeling nice and relaxed with this yoga session. I'm saying she because I'm having a girl. They, whatever you're having, girl or boy. And then bringing those hands to the side. So moving into a lovely little sequence called our sun salutation. We're going to reach arms all the way up now on the inhale, and as we take our exhale, we're going to fold. I've literally put this plant in the wrong place. Let's do that. So just allowing those hands to fall. Now we've got baby bump to be thinking about. So we may find it more comfortable, again, to bring those legs slightly wider. We may want to press into some blocks or some books, depending on how much space we're feeling. We may be able to still find fingertips down to the mat. So just listen to your body, maybe supporting the hips at this point as we glance down towards the mat. On the next inhale, we're going to move into that halfway lift, straightening through the spine. Inhale. And then exhale, bending into those knees. We're going to step back with the right foot and bring the right knee down. This left foot, we're just going to edge slightly wider than the mat, and we're going to bring heels in, toes out, hands into the center. And then inhale, finding strength through the pelvis. Inhale, reach arms all the way up. Breathing in and out. Now we can stay looking forward, just being mindful if we do want to glance up towards the sky, that we can feel a little bit wobbly through our pregnancy. Our bodies are constantly changing, so our balance can be off. So I always think it's a little bit safer to stay looking forward, find a drishti point, not pushing ourselves too much, staying safe in these postures. And then bringing hands all the way down. Bring that left leg all the way around to join the right. And then planting palms on the mat, and we're just going to shift that body slightly forward. Inhale. As we exhale, shift it back. Coming back to neutral. Finding our downward dog. Tuck the toes, lift up. Remembering your breath. And as we look towards the front of the mat, we're just going to edge the hands slightly over to the left. Bring the left knee down. This right leg's going to come forward. We may need to give it a little helping hand as we do. Bring the heel in, toes out, hands into the centre, and do the same on the other side. If it feels too much coming all the way up with the hands, then stay here. Focus on opening up through those hips, strength through the pelvis, the arms reaching up. Beautiful. Feel that length. Inhale. And exhale, hands come down. Now this time we're going to tuck the left toe, start to lift up, make sure hands are into the centre, and see if we can take a stride forward. And we're here in a slightly squat position. Now option to stay here, or option to come fully down into our squat. In which case we're going to start to lower those hips. And we may find that our heels start to lift. If so, we can pop a block or book underneath, or we may feel okay with this, just pressing fingertips into the mat. If we've got heels down on the ground, feel that grounding all the way through the whole of the foot. And if we're okay with our balance here, we can press hands together. Be nice and tall, lifting up, and maybe closing off the eyes. We have got a pregnancy or peanut ball. We can place our ball here and just slightly lean across. This is a really good labour position as well. So just finding a little bit of comfort here, making those adjustments. Remember, we don't need to rush into these poses. Breathing in, breathing out, making sure we're creating lots of space for bump. Wonderful. And then from here, we're going to press into the hands. We're going to lift, lift, lift. See if we can draw body all the way up, finding our way to standing. If coming up to standing in that way doesn't feel good for us, then please make your way up safely and gently, however you normally would. So bringing those soles of the feet a little bit wider again. Inhale, we're going to lift the arms all the way up. Inhale. And exhale down. Inhale halfway up, we're moving a little bit quicker now, slowing it down if you need to. Pressing into the mat, and this time we're going to bring both those knees down. So bring in one, bring in the other. Wonderful. And then finding our way all the way down to our bottoms and making our way into Baddha Konasana. So soles of the feet together. You can support underneath the knees if you prefer. We can hold on to the feet, closing off the eyes, lifting up tall through the crown of the head. Option to sit on a block or a bolster, a pillow, a blanket. Inhale and exhale out. And this posture is so beneficial in our pregnancy, also beneficial for, again, inducing labour. And we may even want to give ourselves a little bit of a foot massage. So pressing in to the centre of the foot with the thumb, and maybe a few little circles. We want to be enhancing lots of oxytocin at this point in our pregnancy, so anything that's going to feel good, maybe even into the ankles, or into the shoulders. Just giving ourselves a little bit of self-love. And we can stay in our Baddha Konasana for as long as we'd like, bending into the knees, placing soles of the feet down onto the mat, bringing knees over to one side, back to centre and over to the other. A little bit of window wiping of those legs. Beautiful. And then coming back to centre. And as we come back to a comfortable seated position, you can either sit here in this meditation pose, or if you prefer to lie on your side. And once you've taken a few moments to get to whichever position we're going to feel most relaxed, we're going to bring again those hands maybe to our bumps. Maybe just have them rested on the knees, closing off the eyes and noticing for a moment the noises around us. Perhaps noises of our home, if we're outside, the noises of passing traffic, noises of the trees, the birds. Being completely aware of everything going on around us. And then bringing ourselves inward. So now just thinking about what's going on inside our bodies. Perhaps visualizing that movement of our babies. Perhaps noticing the rise and fall of the chest as we breathe in and breathe out. And knowing in this moment there's nowhere else we need to be, nothing else we need to do. Taking a body scan all the way from the crown of the head, allowing the facial muscles to relax, allowing the shoulders to draw away from the ears, any tension left in those hips, just allow them to let go. Feel the contact between us and the ground. Feeling the legs relax. And if we're in our meditation pose, if we've got legs crossed, we may at this point want to stretch the legs out in front. Feel the feet fall onto the outside edges. And just allowing for a few moments and just for a few moments allowing ourselves to surrender, to feel a complete sense of letting go. This is time for us, for our babies, for our bodies, our mind. We can stay here as long as we'd like. Otherwise, when we're ready, we're going to start to blink, open the eyes. Give the fingers, the toes a little wriggle. Notice how we're feeling, keeping those eyes low. And inhale, take the arms all the way up, bringing palms together. And exhale, bringing hands down through heart center, bowing forward, thanking ourselves and our beautiful bodies for our practice this morning. Namaste. Thank you.